All right, St. John's, thanks for tuning in. We are starting our first part tour of Julington Creek Plantation. This is a very large neighborhood, so it's probably going to take a few parts. Here to the right, to start us out, is Fruit Cove Middle School. This is a 6 through 8 school. It is not an academy, which you've probably heard me talk about in other videos, which are K through 8. This is a 6 through 8, and so it does serve the majority of our middle school students here in Julington Creek Plantation. We are starting our tour back there where we just came through the intersection. That is the corner, the intersection of Racetrack Road and Durbin Creek Boulevard. We are on Durbin Creek Boulevard right now, and this is sort of the main vein that runs through JCP, or Julington Creek Plantation as we call it. Here on the right, those are some IM fields, intramural fields. A lot of middle school and Little League soccer games and football games are played there. My daughter is on a dance team for her middle school, and I know that they dance for a lot of their middle school games there at Plantation Park, there behind Fruit Cove. So a lot of kids games happen there on the weekends and during weeknights. Here is kind of our first stop on our tour of JCP. This is the first of 2 rec centers or amenity centers in the neighborhood. So this is actually the largest of the 2. This one was built back in 2008. It was a $15 million expansion that they did. The first amenity center, I'll show you that in just a few minutes when we go up there. Much smaller than this one, but this is a beautiful amenity center. Now here on the right, you'll see some basketball courts and a skateboard park. That's sort of the beginning of the whole complex here. So a really good place for kids to come in and play and whatnot. And we also have another skate park over at Veterans Park that a lot of the kids use. Now, as we're coming in here, this is sort of what they call the Plantation Club. This is the largest of the 2 amenity centers, like I was saying. I think I'll go over here to the right to kind of give you an idea of what's going on over by the pool. So this has lots of different things in it for residents of all ages. So over here on this right-hand side, you'll see, first of all, is sort of like a little playground, obviously for the younger kids. And then just past the playground, I'll see if you can see it, past the building, you should see some falling water. Yeah, that is the splash pad. So for the little ones, that's a great place for them to play over there and be safe, kind of away from the bigger kids. There is also a beautiful rec pool with 0 entry and water slides. It's like a giant water park. And then up there on the second story, if you saw when we were coming in, that second floor is all a gym. It's all a fitness facility. So that's really a great resource for the residents. They don't have to pay for a gym membership. Now over here to the right, you'll see some lap pools and some tennis courts. So that is where our middle school and elementary school swim teams practice. So the swim teams that are affiliated with our local schools here, they practice here at this amenity center rather, in those lap pools. So lots of great things here at this amenity center. It's very robust, a lot to be offered. And honestly, for the price of the CDD fee here, it's really a good deal. Julington Creek Plantation is actually one of, if not the lowest, CDD community in St. John's. The CDD for this area runs right around $1,000 a year, which is considerably lower than most other neighborhoods, especially if you've been looking, you probably know that. And the HOA here is $480. So typically the way CDD fees and HOA fees work are CDD fees usually are super high and HOA fees are usually super low. So super low HOA fee, like $50 a year. You find that in Aberdeen, Rivertown, Shearwater. But the CDD fees are up, over $2,000, or at least close to $2,000 a year. Now, but in Julington Creek, it's sort of the 2 are balanced, but it ends up only being a total of $1,480 roughly, which is really a great deal for the amenities that you get. All right, we are pulling out now back onto Durbin Creek Boulevard, so we're going to continue our trek through Julington Creek, and we're going to kind of take this as it winds through to the roundabout. If you're looking at a map, I'll probably pull up a Google map and show it to you. As we get to the roundabout, we're going to take a left instead of continuing on Durbin Creek Boulevard. The left will put us on Davis Pond, no relation to me. And that will eventually take us out to State Road 13. So this road kind of connects Racetrack Road and State Road 13 by way of JCP. All right, this neighborhood coming up here on the left, which I'll do a tour of another day in another part, this is Sawmill Point. So we're coming up here on Flora Branch. If we were to take a right here, that would take us up to Racetrack, where Publix is, and Walgreens and CVS. So there's a lot of things right around here for residents, which is really nice. You don't have to go very far to get to stuff. And you've probably noticed these ponds that we're passing. Julington Creek actually has a ton of ponds that were preserved or actually put in. I mean, some of them were preserved, but some of them were put in. Most of them were put in. They help with flooding and making sure that the water situation stays how it needs to be, and drainage occurs like it should. But in Julington Creek Plantation, there are actually over 100 lakes, and there are 1,200 acres of nature preserves. So lots of natural stuff that happen here in JCP. A lot of natural preservation, which is really nice. Over here on the left, this neighborhood we're kind of passing by, this is Edgewater. You probably saw the entrance back there. It kind of goes around and sort of in a horseshoe-ish, but you go in there and then you can come out down here but on Edgewater Branch. But this is the neighborhood of Edgewater. Really nice neighborhood. All right, and we are coming up here on where there's that person crossing sign. That's actually a golf cart crossing path. You can probably see that little green sign right there, cart crossing. We are coming up here on part of our golf course here. So Julington Creek is a golf course community, and sort of the golf course sort of meanders throughout the neighborhood. Over here on the left, Deer Run and Fox Creek, two of my favorite neighborhoods in Julington Creek. Really a lot of nice homes in there. All right, here on the left, we've got some basketball courts, and those stay open actually pretty late at night. I've seen people out there playing as late as 11 o'clock, so they leave the lights on reasonably late out there for people to play. And then over here on the left, I'm going to go ahead and turn in here. This is the first of Julington Creek's amenity centers and the smaller of the two. But I kind of like it because it usually doesn't have a ton of people at it. The other one, as you notice, had a lot more cars than this. And they really have a lot of really nice things in there. It's a really nice amenity center. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the other one has the big water slides, and it's much more like a water park, if you will. So a lot of times, the parents take their kids there over this one. So if you're looking to avoid kids, like I would be, this is probably a good one to go to. And then over here, sort of behind me, I'll turn the camera around. Over there, well, I guess now it's to the left. That is the area where food trucks occur every Friday night. I think it's every Friday night. If it's not, it's every other Friday night. But the food trucks happen over here very regularly. Lots of good eats there. So you can always go out there if you don't feel like cooking. All right, and I realize that's not an exit, so I had to go around the loop again. I'm going to go out this way so I can get back out onto Durbin Creek, and then we'll hit the roundabout. So Julington Creek has roughly 5,800 homes in it. And those homes were built anywhere from like the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. Obviously, there's outliers on either side, but that's typically where the age of the homes in here. Julington Creek really started being built in that mid-90s time frame. Now, right here on the right, this is Julington Creek Golf Club. So that is sort of the home base for our golf courses. And if you continued on up that road, that would have continued on Durbin Creek, and that actually would take you up into the older section of Julington Creek. And that section is not part of our CDD, or a part of it is not part of our CDD. So they would not have access to the amenities, but they don't have to pay the fees either. Now, right here on the right is one of our pocket parks. That's Plantation Park. You can see they've got a nice pavilion there. A lot of times there's exercise groups that meet up there, moms groups that meet there. There's a nice playground, and then a nice little area over here. A lot of times you'll see people out there fishing. It's catch and release, though. You don't need to fish in these ponds. These are retention ponds. Okay, they're not ponds you need to be eating from. that's for sure. So catch and release. But as you can see, tons of sidewalks, lots of places to ride your bike, run, walk. It's a really good community for getting out and sort of and exercising and just kind of taking in the nature around you. It's really a beautiful community and a nice place to get out and about. The neighborhood to our right is one of the very few gated neighborhoods in Julington Creek. It is actually a very small gated neighborhood. There is another one over Plantation Estates. We'll do that another day. But that one back there is a very small gated community. And you can see over on the right, we're kind of driving by the rest of the golf course. So these are some other fairways for our golf course here. And then behind them are more homes, obviously. We do have a wonderful water treatment facility behind all of these pretty bushes and trees and things over here, but it's actually I've never had an issue with it. I've never smelled it. It's really not too bad. Of course, maybe the residents who live right next to it might feel differently, but I have never noticed an issue. Now here on the left, this is our Julington Creek branch of our public library. So it's actually a pretty big facility for being sort of a neighborhood branch. I've been here many times, and this sort of serves the vast majority of our area up here in northwest St. Johns County. So the sort of the 32259 area is mostly served by this Bartram Trail branch location here. And then if you can see up there to the sort of in front of us, I guess it'll be to the left of us here in a second, that is the exit off of Davis Pond up to State Road 13. So that sort of concludes our tour. I'm going to go ahead and go back this way because I don't want to go out onto 13. But that sort of concludes our tour of part 1 of Julington Creek Plantation. So I hope this kind of gave you a good idea of sort of the feel of Julington Creek. Obviously, every neighborhood here in St. John's is going to have a different feel. So when people move here, I always tell them, go and drive through the neighborhoods because you're going to have a different feel for each one of them, and some neighborhoods may not appeal to you. I'll be honest with you, when we first moved over here from Tallahassee, we really liked Julington Creek because Julington Creek has a lot of mature trees. You can see right now we're sort of driving under a canopy road. So lots of mature trees in here, and that's because this is one of the older neighborhoods in this area. We did not end up buying in here, frankly, because we just got a better deal on a new build in another neighborhood. But the one thing we didn't like about the neighborhood we moved into was that the trees were just clear cut. So a lot of those new neighborhoods, they do go in, they mow down all the trees, and they start over and plant new trees. But when you buy in a neighborhood that's more established, you sort of have this view that you're not going to get in all the other neighborhoods in St. John's. So anyway, I hope you found this tour to be informative. If you have any questions about Julington Creek, or there's anything you want to be sure that I cover in a future tour, please drop a comment below or always reach out to me. You can always reach out to me on Facebook. You can find me, Gary Davis Real Estate. Or, of course, you can follow me on Experience St. John's, which is also a Facebook group that I run. You can always reach out to me there. So anyway, thanks for watching St. John's, and I will look forward to seeing you right back here next time on the next neighborhood tour.